Let me introduce you my guests for today. I have to my left Elvis Darko, who's the editor of the Finder newspaper. Elvis, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm very well. You look really nice this morning.
I'm so tired.
Really?
I went for the affirmative action bill match on Friday.
Okay, how did that go?
Oh, it went well. It went well.
Yeah.
At least we got a petition to the gender minister, to Parliament and the presidency, asking that they should lay the bill before the House and work on it.
Okay.
So that at least the high level of discrimination against females can be reduced to a certain extent.
Okay.
And I think it's important that we all support that bill, because
I agree.
it is important that we include everyone in the process to fasten the pace of development. If we are leaving behind half of the population, and we think we can develop at the speed we want, it will not be possible.
It will happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need everybody on board.
Fantastic. My other guest is Kwame Jantua, who's a lawyer and the former vice chair of PIAC. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Very well.
You're very well.
Just to take the point that Elvis made.
Yes.
I hear what he says, but the understanding of why we need affirmative action should be told to people.
Okay.
Why it's important to have affirmative action.
Okay.
People
why is it important in your opinion?
52% of this country are women. I believe women are part and parcel of our population. And really, I also believe that women have something to give. Look, when you look at the upbringing of men, who does it? When you look at the management of homes, who does it? Women are intelligent. It's just that sometimes men feel not frightened, but they feel that women will take over their positions. And so they try to put them down. I don't think that is right. I believe the girl child should be given the opportunity and be told that they can also achieve. And it starts from the classroom, so that the mindset is already fomented by the time they become adults. And I think it's important. We all have to. Nkrumah brought in affirmative action during his government, and see what the women in the party did. It was actually the women who encouraged Nkrumah to do some of the things he did. So I think affirmative action is good, and all of us should support it.
Fantastic. Well, let's begin by getting into our stories for today. We want to talk about the safety of police and the way policing is done in Ghana. I'm going to start with Elvis on this one. Basically, the premise for this is 5 policemen in the last few weeks have been gunned down, and have lost their lives in the course of duty. Now, unfortunately, the reaction that came out of that, and I say unfortunately because I have my own leanings in the way I see this, but the government says, arm every policeman who is out there, having to serve the country, put guns in their hands. Question I want to ask is, will that solve the problem? And is that the way to go? Are we not doing a knee-jerk reaction? Are we not jumping the gun? Elvis?
Yes, I must say that it's unfortunate for people to lose their jobs when they are working to protect all of us in this country, to make the country safe for us. And I must say that as at the end of 2018, data we have gone through show that about 48 police officers actually died in line of duty from 2013 to 2018. And that's very unfortunate, because these are people who should be out there working to protect us and give us the peace of mind that we can all live with. But unfortunately, some of these things happen. And it must also be stated that the policing is a risk. And dying in line of duty is something that every policeman knows that it's a possibility. It is something that can happen because they confront all kinds of people as part of their job. So as part of their training, they know that at one point in time, you may be confronted with certain challenges. If you are not lucky, you may lose your life. This idea of us arming the police at this point, for me, is a knee-jerk reaction. A knee-jerk reaction because it is a fact that most of our police officers actually demonstrate unprofessionalism in line of duty. They really don't show that they understand what policing is about. You clearly see that they don't follow what we call the standard operating procedures of their institution. They've shown that they are not well trained, and you talk to people in the service and they tell you that, look, we don't have what it takes. When this announcement, I've read police officers who have openly written on social media that this is going to be a disaster, because lots of them, apart from the SWAT and one or two specific special units in the service, most of them cannot even use the gun because they've not even been trained properly on how to use the gun. So if you are somebody who has followed the police, you are somebody who knows how the police have been trained. If you are worried about even the recruitment processes, if you are worried about the fact that for some years now, we consistently read about people arrested in robbery and they are led by police officers. If you look around with all these things, obviously you will be afraid if anybody tells you that every police officer
is going to hold a weapon,
should be given a gun. For me, I want every police officer to be given a gun when they are properly trained, when they have demonstrated that they have the capacity to put that gun to use effectively, and they follow their standard operating procedures in line of duty. That, at that point, I want to support it. But at this point, the kind of police service we have and the kind of training we have given them, the kind of recruitment we've been doing, the kind of bad news we read from the service where a lot of some of their service personnel are arrested as leading gangs of armed robbers in this country. If you look at all these issues and many others that I've not mentioned, I don't think that the reaction should be immediately, let's give them a gun. I think the reaction should be that let's get them retraining. Before they will handle the gun, let's give them the kind of expertise they need.
What do you think would make the Ministry of Interior make such a call? Was it populist? I'm not quite sure why he would make such a call, because if you're a Minister of Interior, you understand and things at a certain level above what we even understand. But for me, as a layperson, I know, number one, police are not soldiers. Soldiers have regular training and retraining. Police don't have that in their system.
Which they should
and
have.
And even weapon handling, they don't have
which they should have.
As a regular,
police are supposed to have regular in-service training.
Including weapon handling?
Yes.
And it's supposed, is it supposed to cut across all police?
Police holding weapons does not mean that all of them will wield AK-47.
Okay.
You have lived outside. You see police officers who have their pistols,
sidearms.
Yes. With them. It doesn't mean that everybody will hold the AK-47 that puts fear in the people. But a policeman must always be ready for action. That in case that they come across situations where there will be the need to use firearms, they should be able to use it. But it doesn't mean that everybody will be holding an AK-47. So when they say weapons, it's not the AK-47 for everybody. Every police officer and the level you are, it depends on what kind of arms you should wield. But the question is, do we have even those kind of weapons that are not the AK-47? And for me, even before, whether pistol, AK-47, whatever weapon, the key issue is what kind of training. First of all, what are we sure that we are doing proper recruitment? That we do real background check of the people that join the service? Do we give them the kind of training? Have we given them training where they can really handle weapons and use it effectively? Have we come to that point? If we haven't come to the point where we are sure that we have trained these people to the levels where the standard operating procedures are their guide every day, then we should be careful, because already police have killed several innocent people in this country. And at the time that we have not even armed all of them, they have killed several innocent people in this country. So if we take that into consideration, and you are telling me that we should now arm every policeman, it's dangerous. We've seen police officers who are so unprofessional. And look at this particular incident we are talking about. According to the narration by the young lady who said the mother's store was where the policeman was shot, he said when the police pursued the guys and they stopped, and the guy came out, the first thing was that the policeman rather slapped the gentleman.
Yeah.
Is that
so that's provocation also?
Is that how? Is that the standard operating procedure? You are pursuing somebody, the person stopped and is walking to you without any arms.
Yeah.
It's walking to you. The person is not armed. It's just walking to you.
Yeah.
And then the first reaction of the policeman is to give him a slap.
Yeah.
If that narration is true, the question is that a standard operating procedure of a police officer? Because I'm not sure if the person has no weapon and the person stops and is coming to you to find out what the problem is.
Yeah.
And then your first reaction, according to the young lady who witnessed the thing, is to give the civilian slaps.
Yeah.
Is that the standard? So you see, we need to look at the actions, how the police act in this country. It's obviously a choice for us to understand that to say we should arm the police is a good idea. But currently, the kind of police officers we have, many of them have demonstrated that they have not been trained to that level. People have raised the issue that 6 months training is not enough. Other countries are training police officers 12 months, 18 months before they pass out even from the training, the academy.
Yeah.
And after that, there is regular in-service training. Talking to the police service, they hardly do any in-service training. So once you pass out, you are a police officer forever.
Yeah.
No in-service training. So whatever you got from the training school is all that you'll be with until you go on retirement or whatever. And police officers themselves have been complaining to their bosses that, look, you are making us ineffective because you are not giving us in-service training. And the excuse is that they don't have money. The police service will say that they don't have money to give training.
Yeah.
But if Citi TV can do an indiscipline campaign and within 2 months can raise over 300,000 for the government through the police service, I think the police sit down to do their work and monetize indiscipline alone.
Yeah.
They can generate enough IGF to solve enough of their problem and tell government that, okay, your budget allocations are not enough. We are generating this amount of work. Can we keep 50% as IGF to be able to take care of some of our problems? But then they will give you a excuse they don't have cars. But they have a lot of cars that are in town. They ask yourself, what really do you think are your priorities? For me, I think the police service should begin to look at their priorities. So we can monetize in discipline. The money that comes out of it, we can use to retool the service and put our service personnel at a level where even when they are holding guns, we are comfortable that they can use these guns effectively. As for the death, as I said, everywhere in the world, no matter how well you train your people, they will come across some of these instances and some of them may get injured or die. But for us, at this point in time, the service is not ready for all of them to be given arms because some of them, you talk to them, and as I said, I've read some even on social media, police officers themselves admitting that if they give them a gun today, they can't even use it because they have not been trained on weapon handling. And this is a sign to the country and the service that not everybody in the service can handle a gun. The special units that have been trained and who can handle guns properly, they should let those ones continue to handle the guns. Those that they think everybody must get it, they need proper training. And we must do that first before we try to arm everybody. If not, the civilian deaths that we are witnessing up to today may increase. Because if the person does not know how to use the weapon, anything can happen. So we must tread cautiously.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to come to my next guest, Mr. Kwame Jantor. But before I do that, let me just quickly read to you a story from citinewsroom.com. The Bureau of Public Safety says that they want to urge the Police Council to halt the arming of police Transport and Traffic Directorate, MTTD, officers pending their retraining and sensitization. The Bureau, in a statement, argued that the arming of MTTD personnel without first equipping them with the requisite soft skills will heighten citizen tensions. The Bureau thus contends that the arming of all members of the MTTD or Ghana Police Service personnel may be the needful thing to do, but in doing so, in a current state, is dangerous. It's a dangerous recipe for more aggravated conflicts and murders, especially on the civilian front. This will deteriorate an already deep-seated mistrust between police and citizens, all right? And it goes on to say the Bureau suggested that the police develop a strict protocol for engaging citizens in various scenarios. It also insisted that the retraining of police personnel with needed soft skills is crucial to preventing or reducing escalated conflicts that may lead to injuries and lots of lives. All right. So, Kwame, this situation that has arisen, we want to give everybody a gun, every policeman a gun. Now, this weekend, I happened to coincidentally watch, I love security things, so YouTube, I'm always, watching different things. And I happened to watch one by an ex-military officer who is a security expert. He's retrained himself in that direction. That's what he does now. No, it's a US thing, yeah. And what the topic that he was handling yesterday was the complacent gun user. And basically what he was addressing was the fact that you have a gun doesn't mean you're safe. Because you must first know how to use the gun and then know how to use it very well. And then he talked about the fact that even the fact that you've gone for training before does not mean that 6 months later you are still sharp on your skills. And because you have a weapon, anybody with a weapon is fair game. I even in a more cynical direction than where Elvis was coming from, I think that the police could easily be at more risk because they are now weaponized. It's like it's fair game. Now we know you don't have weapons. So somebody may decide, look, let me just leave the gun in the car. I won't pull it out. But now that we know you have weapons, they may decide that, you know what? Listen, we already know this issue of small arms. I think it's over 2 million or something in the system. It's dangerous. You put guns in the weapons of police who haven't been trained well and all that. Where do you take this? What do you make of all this?
What you've just said and what Elvis also, his commentary was dead on, hit the nail on the head. But let me start from this point.
Okay.
Who gave the Minister of Interior that authority to say what he said? Look.
Well, he is the Minister of Interior.
The fact that you're Minister of Interior, this is a very serious issue where people's lives can be at stake. Do you not think that before a Minister of Interior makes such a statement, there should be a cabinet meeting?
Possibly.
There should be some study as to what it takes to arm, and let's put it in context, traffic police. That study should bring out the pros and cons of arming traffic police, the impact on society, the society and civilians' reaction to traffic police being armed. That whole study should be done before you say we are arming traffic police. But yes, I agree, knee-jerk reaction from the minister. Now, I'm not sure whether you've heard the story behind the killing of that policeman and why he was pursued when he went into the shop. I heard it on Joy this morning.
What's the story?
The policeman who was shot had a relationship with this gentleman who shot him with regards to some land, which unfortunately he was told to relinquish, and that land belonged to the killer's mother.
Yes.
And they asked him to relinquish that land and they'll give him a new piece of land because some foreigners wanted that land.
Yes.
And he decided he will not relinquish it. And it went into some altercation. Unfortunately, according to the report, the person, this dear guy who killed the policeman, indicated that through that his mother died. And so far as he was concerned, the death of his mother was a contributory factor because of what happened.
Okay, we need to take a short break, so don't lose your train of thought. We'll come back with the next. We'll come back to you very soon. Let's take a short break. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. And Kwame, you were making a submission, yes.
And so he was peeved with regards to the fact that his mother died through, that is his story.
Yes.
Died through this land deal.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to arm the police at this point, considering all that has been said around this table, I don't think it's safe. You need training. You need a mindset that understands how a gun operates. You need constant training of police. You need to make sure that the police understand why they're carrying a gun and they don't pull the gun out willy-nilly at any time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? They stop a taxi or they stop an unmarked car. The guy comes out of the car and the next thing you see, the police has pulled a gun.
Yeah.
There are processes and procedures that need to be put in place before even someone who is stopped gets out of his car.
Yes.
Do they know that? You said you watch security.
Yes.
I also tend to like the security things. When you even watch the films and they stop somebody, what do they say? Put your hands on the steering wheel.
Where we can see it.
Where we can see it.
Yep, always.
And anytime the police have put your hands on the steering wheel, his hand is on
His side arm.
His side arm.
Yeah.
Just to be sure. Now, would it be possible to probably use soft equipment than actual pistol?
Yeah. I mean, I think Adams Bonner was calling for that as well.
To start off with.
Yeah.
To test, whether the police understand it. Tasers. There are taser guns now.
Yeah.
There are pepper sprays.
Yeah.
There are rubber bullets. And the police should be trained where to shoot. Look, I don't believe in shooting someone because they have a gun. Even if that person has killed, you shoot him in a certain part of the body to disarm him.
Yeah.
So that the person can face the courts. That's another thing. In order to give the police a gun, you need to make sure that your court system is ready. Apart from that, how many armed robbers are we able to arrest in this country? Elvis just made the point that some police people give their rifles to armed robbers to go and rob.
Yeah.
Who said that they will not give their pistols to armed robbers to go and rob? And if armed robbers know that the policeman lives in a certain community and he has a gun, will they not try and attack him and take his gun? So I think we should do more work, more analysis. We should look at how we would put a report together that would tell us the pros and cons of this actual action and make sure that if we're doing it, everybody understands, and especially the police understand why we've given them the guns to use.
Absolutely. Right. Let's move to our next topic then.
No, but one thing is,
you want to say something?
Our police, we all know, must admit that they are too focused on collecting bribes. And so long as the motivation is to collect a bribe, they will still have the guns, but they will not even think about it because they will not follow standard operating procedures. So if
it comes back to the issue of training.
Who have arms, who know that the policeman is armed, at that point would rather be shooting them more than now.
I think so.
Elvis,
so you see,
let me just
the SOPs must be key.
Let me ask you a question.
Standard
Let me ask you a
procedures.
question. How do we stop police people? How do we stop them getting bribes?
Oh, it's simple.
Is it the mindset?
No, it's simple. In Rwanda, everybody wears a body camera, policeman. And when you stop a car, the driver stops somewhere. The driver doesn't come to you. You go to the police, you go to the driver, and the driver is in the car.
Which is international best practice anyway.
So whatever you are doing is being recorded. And before you speak to anybody,
do you have the control of the camera.
That's what I'm saying. So,
What if you switch the camera
No,
off?
so then you have to explain. Yes.
Every encounter. The reason police shoot people in America, they go to court and they go scot-free is that everything, before he starts interacting with you, his walkie-talkie is on, and whatever conversation that is happening is being recorded at the central point somewhere. So whatever happened before he shot you is already captured in voice. So when they go to court, they produce and say, this is why I asked him to stop. The man said this is how they confronted me. This is the first action they took. And everything, because once you are answering, the altercation, everything between you and the police is already be recorded somewhere. That's what I'm saying, that we need to follow certain things. And when we put certain things in place, and we know that because they have ABCD, we can then monitor the policeman. So when the policeman stops somebody or any action, whatever conversation is taking place, a recording is taking place somewhere where independent people can look at that.
And you're not allowed at any point to turn the camera off.
Yeah.
That's why someone like me and other we are calling for an independent police complaints commission to replace their PIPs. The PIPs is an internal body, but we need an external body that will make sure that when the police mess up, they are dealt with ruthlessly. And then when we have these systems in play where we can then get evidence whether the police actually followed the SOPs or not, the voices will be there, and then we can deal with them. But when we do not have all these things in place, and we want to give police a gun, it's dangerous. This guy who was killed in Domi, the police have done their own investigation and have realized that the guy was not armed and he was killed innocently. As we speak, nobody has compensated the family or said anything to the family. They are even sitting on the report that exonerated the guy. So if we are going to arm every policeman in this country, please, it's going to be very dangerous for the citizens, because the current mentality of the police, based because of the poor training, is bad. And the fact that we don't have laid down monitoring mechanisms to know how they do their job on daily basis is also another problem. So the person can kill you. There's no way of knowing that the person just killed you for killing sake. So we need to make sure that we put in place all these things. So that everything that if we don't have a voice recording of you, what happened before you shot the person, it means that you deliberately shot the person. You cannot defend yourself. So then everybody knows that before I have any interaction with anybody, I must start put on my machine and we start before we talk. So you see, if we don't, and if the person is being monitored, how does he take a bribe now? How does it take a bribe?
It's a difficult situation.
That is the point. So after that, in Rwanda,
it's the mindset.
They said they have just 200 police officers because it's found that they were taking bribes because they have monitoring mechanism.
But will we sack them here?
We have the monitoring mechanism.
We need to.
That is what I'm telling you. So if we don't have them, we'll put in place the Independent Police Complaints Commission, which is not under the police, which is not under the president. It's an independent body like SRAJ on its own. And all they do is to investigate the misbehavior of the police and then deal with them ruthlessly.
But to put it on the SRAJ too, SRAJ needs to have the finances to be able.
No, I'm not saying SRAJ. I'm saying to take the form of SRAJ, like a complete independent body that nobody controls. And then that institution now become the oversight body over the police.
Who finances that?
No, it's okay.
The state.
We can continue forever. Let's go to the next topic. All right, so we want to talk about the Takoradi kidnappings. The DNA tests are supposed to be ready this week. This is the 4th week. They said it will be ready in 4 weeks. Where there was also a demonstration that said that if they find the DNA to be if the report says that they were actually the girls who have disappeared, they are not going to accept it, and so on. Let me start with.
If they find what?
Yes. So there was a demonstration by people in Takoradi saying that they will not accept the findings if the findings suggest that the girls are those bodies that were found. Because they say that the police they are going to fiddle with the DNA to come out with a report. That's their complaint. That's their side.
So let me ask the question. Were they satisfied with the medical staff who took the DNA?
Come again.
Were they satisfied with the medical staff who actually conducted the DNA.
Well, I mean, from all reports, they were satisfied. I mean, the
Exactly.
family members were happy with the process of the DNA collection and all that. They talked about the swabs that were taken, and saliva swabs that were taken, and so on. So it looks like those things. But these were other concerned citizens who were marching in the streets and said that, look, we know that well, first of all, because also the police had come out earlier to say that they knew where the ladies were and the ladies were alive and that they will bring them to them soon and so on and so forth. And this, it's not just once, it's happened once, twice. And so they're like, any other report that comes is contradictory to that. So as far as they are concerned, they are not accepting it.
Then they'll never accept anything that comes out of this case, if that is what they're saying.
Well, they want to
Look,
hear.
we need to bring closure to this particular issue. We need to bring closure. We cannot continuously do these types of things when people's families are suffering. For me, if it's the families who have found something untoward with the process of collecting the DNA and doing the DNA test, fine. But who are these people who are saying inverted commas begin and close? We are going on demonstration because we don't trust the police to give us the right information. Look, we need to bring closure to it. Did anybody ever think that people will be found in a septic tank?
Nope.
Nobody thought so. And how many have been found in a septic tank? 4 bodies. It says something. So let's do the DNA test and let's make sure that that DNA test is done according to the procedures of conducting a DNA test to give you the results that are required. I don't see why others are standing on the side and say because the police did X, they didn't do Y, they said they didn't say this, so we are not going to accept the DNA test. For what? Let's bring closure.
Elvis.
Well, I think those demonstrating, they are entitled to their opinions, but their opinions cannot be fact, and the position they have taken is untenable at this point. Because, after all, the police did not ask anybody to go and kidnap their daughters. It is criminals who have embarked on an enterprise, and the police were supposed to help find them. If it turned out that they are the dead people, it's a lesson to all of us. How will you train your children at home? How do they get into contact with people they don't know through online and yet trusted those people and can go to them? How we don't take personal security serious? These are lessons that we should be learning instead of shouting those kind of slogans around town. Because shouting the slogan without learning the lessons, it means that the situation will repeat itself.
Again and again.
So it is not about shouting, it's about asking yourself, on the part of the individuals, where did they falter? What did they not do well? How can I also advise my child, my sister, my family members that, look, the world is becoming more and more dangerous and things are happening. Therefore, maybe these personal security tips can help you and it will be an issue. So we need to understand, how can these young girls trust guys that they knew from nowhere and could go to them without even anybody knowing where they were going? These are critical questions, despite whatever the police communication and everything. We should look at the real issues. This one has already happened. It's something we cannot restore. But the question, what lessons are we learning as a society to make sure that this doesn't happen? Oil find in Takoradi in Western region will attract a lot of migrants, including criminals. So a place like that, and this incident happening there, should be a big lesson to everybody that, look, with the oil find, with the attraction of everybody thinking that they can find some job in the oil sector, let's move to that region. It will come with people who are criminals who also think that because people are making money, the women will go, they can also get money. And therefore, people should learn how to apply personal security in life. So it's not about we accept or not. Once the family has agreed and they have given or whatever, I'm told that the process is already on. They are doing the work since last week. The people are being meticulous because they want to make sure that whatever results they come out with will not have any questions. For me, as I said, the lesson is, if it comes out and turns out to be the girls, then we must understand that a new form of crime has come to live with us. And we as a people must learn what we need to do to avoid such situations. I was just discussing with a group that this boys or girls going to do sleepover at their boyfriend or girlfriend in the past. It used to be a very nice something that happens a lot. But this day with crime and everything, you don't know what will happen to you if some boys said come and sleep over or girls said come and sleep over. You don't know what will happen to you in the night. So people should be careful of this sleepover and it became something that we laugh over. But it's a serious security issue. So you see, for me, let's the police and see. Sometimes we are not seized with the facts, so we can blame people. But when you go into that commentary about we know where the girls are, talking to people, it's a work done by the entire security service. But because somebody read it, we are all focused. But I'm told that it was a committee because they actually work with the intelligence body in the sub-region to the extent that there was firm confirmation that the girls were actually in Nigeria based on the intelligence of they got that from Ghana, got from the neighboring countries, security agencies, and they even promised that within days they were going to rescue the girls and bring them to Ghana. So it was a real work, and that statement was written by a committee of people who were involved in the investigation 24 hours, who all had the feeling that where we've gotten to, we think that the girls, we are going to get them. So the person read the statement, yes, that's what we all know. But what happened before the statement, we don't know. But upon several checks, it is turning out that it is not a statement she came to Citi to make on herself, but it's something that the whole people who were involved, all the security agencies, both Ghana and in the neighboring country, all agreed that we're going to get the girls. And they wrote the statement and say, you are the head of CIT, you go and read it. So see, some of these things, we don't know the facts behind, so we will blame the person we see. That I agree, and she will take that responsibility for herself. But see, for me, as I said, the most important thing is that so long as we keep shouting that we are making progress economically in the sub-region, a lot of migrants will want to come, and a lot of them will come with criminals. Secondly, we live in a country where unemployment is high. So when somebody comes with some idea that somebody thinks that I can easily make some money off it, it's easy for such people who think that I have what it takes to work, I can't find a job, I'm finding it difficult to have a living. If somebody tells me that let's do this and then we make money, I will join. It's also high. So we as individuals should be very careful of the kind of things we all do. What we do. Personal security in this country is a big problem, and this is the way we, the media, must also take it up. Begin to let the public understand that this is a very serious issue. We sympathize with the family. It shouldn't have happened, but it has happened. Please, out of this, let's learn these lessons. Let's make sure that we know where we are. In the foreign country, no little boy or girl will leave the house without telling the parent that I'm going to this place, I'm going here. When he gets there, he call home and say, oh, I'm at my friend's place, I'll leave. When he's leaving the place, he calls, oh, daddy, I'm leaving the place. How many of our children do that in Ghana? You go to where by the time you come, your child is not home. You don't even know where he or she is. He's gone to play or gone to a friend's house. You don't even have you can't trace where your child is. You only be home and then he or she will come. And because he or she has returned, you see nothing wrong with it, you keep quiet. You don't tell the child that, look, what you have done is dangerous. What if you don't return? How do I look for you? So you see, we begin to educate the public that, look, these things are things we ourselves as individuals in our homes should begin to take up. If not, look, the system we have, the way we live our lives and we trust people easily in this country and all that, if kidnappers want to work in this country, my brother, they will kidnap a lot of people. Elsewhere, you are told that if anybody calls you, you don't know the person, don't go close. But in Ghana, you say, oh, when another person calls you,
should
go.
Be respectful.
You should be respectful to go and answer the call. Whatever he asks you to go and do, go and do it. And it has led to a lot of defilement cases in this country. That's the angle is not looked at. A lot of the kids that have been defiled, they've been defiled by people who ask them, go and buy me this and bring it to my house. And by the time you see, there's defilement. So we should begin to change our psyche. The culture we have, encouraging some of these things. It's about time we say that these cultures are not helping us. Let's change them and be in tune with current trends so that our families can be safe.
Thank you.
David, just to add, who monitors social media in this country?
I'm not sure we have a monitoring agency.
When you go to European countries, certain types of information on social media are banned. If you try it, they'll tell you it's banned. You can't use this system to access this kind of information. So we need to be able to monitor social media, especially because a lot of the youth, they're unemployed, They spend most of their time
there,
on social media.
Okay.
I think it's important.
It's a good call. All right, so we have a few messages. I want to read them quickly before we go into the last topic for the day. Hi, good morning. We are watching live from Kintampo Falls, located in Kintampo. We are always tuned in to this wonderful station. Since tourists always admire watching programs on Citi TV when they visit the eco-tourism site. This is regards from the management, Kintampo Falls. I want to say good morning to you, all of you who are at Kintampo Falls and the management as well.
Have you been there before?
I've been there once,
Okay.
yes.
It's a nice place.
Yes,
Nice place, yeah.
Breakfast Daily is still the best. You guys are looking great this morning. Hashtag Breakfast Daily. And the last message here is from Musa Abatwa in Kumasi. He says, it will be very difficult to combat the emerging trend of unprecedented crime until these fundamental questions are addressed. What are the causes of this phenomenon of killing of security personnel? What happened to visibility approach introduced by IGP Al-Hassan? President Mahama established National Emergency Command Center. The project was to put CCTV cameras at vantage points across Ghana. Are they in use or not? All right. So,
and on that point, the average person in the UK or America is photographed several times in a day. Everybody, wherever you are walking, there are cameras that are photographing you.
Tube
so if
station,
anything happens, they are looking for a suspect.
Yeah.
It's easy to identify who they are looking for. Where are the cameras in Ghana to photograph somebody?
Yeah.
See, security has gone beyond. I have a gun and I'm walking on the street.
Yeah.
That kind of security
Let's
is in the past.
let's move to our next.
Talking about cameras, street lights.
It's in the past.
Let's move into our next topic because we can be on this all day. All right. So, Galam saying, question: are we winning the fight or not? 6 people perished recently in the one pit that collapsed. Are we winning this fight or not? That was.
I think the Galamsey fight, even though a laudable idea, I think people put in charge have disappointed hugely. And information that some of us have received and followed up show that the thing is still happening on a large scale in several parts, because the people in charge are allegedly compromised, and therefore these people do the work in so many places in Ghana, large scale. Now the only difference is that they tell you that make sure that you don't do it at a place that pollutes any water body. So once you are doing it at a place that does not pollute water body, you can dig your own borehole to get your own water to wash your thing. It's happening. And some of this information, some of us have followed up on some of them, and it's turned out that yes, this Galamsey thing, even though a laudable thing that the president has put out together, the implementation and the people in charge have really not helped enough. And I think that it's about time that the president take a second look at how the committee has worked, if there's need to review it, if there's need to put different people to handle the issue. I think that it's about time we do that. Yes, it's a very laudable. They started very well. We all had the hopes, and they have done some work, and they must be congratulated for that. But it's turning out that the thing is still happening on a large scale, and I think that is not helpful to anybody.
Okay, in the Chronicle on page 8, the paramount chief of Awen traditional area in the Western North region, Bayeman Tano Kwao Ben Buin III says, I'm sure I butchered the name, says there are over 200 excavators and over 600 changfangs operating in his traditional area, operating currently in his traditional
Which is true.
area.
Very true.
The Chamfan is the
the one that you put on the river.
The FPSO
Galamsey FPSO. I see.
Galamsey FPSO.
Yeah. Is this?
And this is the chief in the community.
Yes,
He's telling you that in his own area,
over
this
600.
is what is happening.
And over 200 excavators. Kwame, it looks like we've lost the battle. What do you think?
I don't understand why hard extractives and soft extractives is decimating our land. Look, sand winning is decimating our land. Nobody's saying anything about it.
Yeah.
Sand winning.
Yeah. Big time.
Big time. government comes and says, we are going to mine bauxite in a reserved forest area,
Yeah.
which they really know that is going to decimate the forest, but we say that we're going to do it. Then Galamsey, on a large scale, yes, although they've done some work, they haven't gotten there yet. Why? Because within their own establishment, the people who are supposed to do it are doing Galamsey. And I'll tell you, I won't mention any names. There are politicians in these areas who are gaining from Galamsey. And so you ask
Really?
me, yes, because that's
So-
the way they also get
So what we
finances.
saw, what we saw on Manasseh Azuri's the video. I think was it Manasseh? Was Manasseh?
No.
No,
it was
Anas.
Anas's video.
Anas.
Yeah, Anas's video with Charles Bissue
Yes.
in short. Why haven't we been able to deal with this? Because it looks like we have enough evidence that suggests that people are meddling. You are saying that you know people who are benefiting. Why can't we nip this thing in the
Have
bud?
you seen any political party that has come into power castigating another political party? Have you seen it? And even
for what?
when
They castigate each other all the time.
even when cases go to court, because
No, but they castigate each other all the time. So when you say castigate
no,
for what?
when I say
For what
castigate,
specifically?
in terms of when they are doing something that is untoward,
Okay.
even when cases have gone to court, how many times have the politician been prosecuted? It goes to court, and the next thing you see is fizzled out.
Yeah.
You know, we need to set our priorities right. We need to make sure that people do not take advantage of destroying this country for their own selfish interest. This chief who is saying that, what power does he have to stop these people? He has power, doesn't he, with regards to his own jurisdiction?
Yes, he does.
Can he not bring the police in? Can he not make sure that the president hears what he's saying?
That's what I put in the paper. Because the police are supposed to bring in, the truth is that they are compromised.
Yes, they are compromised.
They go to the
They're
site and
compromised.
collect money from
Yes.
the people and allow them to
They're
go.
compromised.
So he's frustrated. That's why he's putting it down.
Even the soldiers are compromised.
He's frustrated.
And the president has put his presidency on the line
For this.
for this.
Well, it's rather unfortunate where we find ourselves. Thank you very much for
But I
watching
think it's
the
all of
show.
it our sustainability
Yes,
that we are talking
yes.
about. It's
Gentlemen,
very dangerous for all of
yes.
us.
Gentlemen, I understand. We need to.
We need to do something about
Thank you
it.
very much to Elvis Dako, who is the editor of the Finder newspaper. And then also thank you to Kwame Jantua, who is a lawyer and former vice chairman of PIAC. Thank you too for watching this segment of the show and watching the rest of the show. And keep sending your messages to us as we go into the next segment of the show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.